I wanted to revisit my What Makes Fishman Fluence Pickups Different video, because that video, to my chagrin, is over 100,000 views. I did not know that would take off. That was from like the infancy of this channel before I was even doing anything regularly. I just wanted to kind of start throwing out videos and trying stuff. I had this terrible old Zoom camera and no actual good lighting. I look like Gollum in the video. My sound quality is awful for just everything. The information was good, but I ended up privating that video because I just couldn't stand to look at it anymore, and I wanted to have, you know, that in a better format for people, along with some clear audio examples of what I was talking about with the pickups. So what makes a Fishman Fluence pickup different? Well, before I get into that, I want to talk about what a standard guitar pickup is. Essentially, it's copper wire wrapped around a magnet. Essentially, that's it. And I'm being very simplistic here, but that's it. Now, there are a couple problems with this. With an electric guitar pickup, whether it's an active pickup or a passive pickup, they both do that. The only thing different with an active is it does have a preamp going out. Normally, an active pickup is actually going to be kind of underwound and underpowered compared to an actual standard pickup. And then the output comes from the preamp, which is why a lot of times stuff like EMGs, like 81s and stuff, or blackouts, tend to be a lot tighter, because the less wraps of copper you have, the less low end you get and the more top end you get. So you have a lot of top end but low output, and then they boost that output, like I was saying, with a preamp. But again, same concept, copper wire and a magnet. Now, why a Fishman's different is because there are no copper wire wraps or anything like that. What they do are precision cut stacked coils. Essentially, it's a precision cut machined coil, and those are all stacked up on each other. And what's cool about that is because they're precision made, they're all going to be identical, which means every pickup is going to sound correct. So if you have a signature pickup, that pickup is going to sound and perform exactly the same in your guitar as it will in, say, you know, the signature pickup for Mick Thomson or Willie Adler or Devin Townsend or Tosin Abasi, any of them. It's going to be the exact same sounding pickup. That consistency is huge and something you cannot get with a traditional pickup. With a traditional pickup, you're bound and limited essentially by what can be done. And as good as you wrap it, you're not going to get a pickup that's going to be identical to another one. I'm sure plenty of people here have had multiples of pickups they like, where one of them kind of sounded like a dud, or they liked one over another one or a bunch of the other ones, even though they're all the same pickup technically. And it's because when it's just down to, you know, wrapping copper wire with a magnet, there's going to be, you know, margin for error. It's going to be plus or minus a bit here or there, but that is something that is completely eliminated with the Fishman Fluence system. The stacked coils allow them to machine them all exactly perfect to the same specifications every time, so that they sound the exact same every time. Now, beyond the consistency of Fishman pickups, another big factor is going to be that with these stacked coils, they can essentially control the output and the voicings, and have multiple voicings. A lot of the pickups from Fishman do have two main kind of voicings, and then usually some sort of coil split if you want that, which is usually optional. You don't always have to do it, but it is an option if it's there, and it's always cool to have more options. Now, I think this is awesome because essentially the way these coils work is they can, with their technology, they can go digitally to, like with the Artist Series pickups, they can work with them and go, okay, what are you looking for in a pickup? Like, oh, okay, we add more here. Let's take away a little bit from here. Let's kind of boost this. Let's make the overall output this. And then they can voice the next thing. And it's all built into the same pickup. Then they can send all that information out from how they do this digitally into the analog pickup. So there's nothing like digital going on in the pickup. It's all still going to be analog, but they can control it digitally to really, really narrow in and pinpoint exactly how they want these to sound and perform. And something else that's cool too, and what I kind of just touched on, was you can increase or lower the output independent of how the tone is. That's definitely not something that you can do with a traditional pickup, because the more winds you have on a pickup, the more top end's going to kind of shave off and the more bottom end you're going to get. And then if you take off some of that so that you have, you know, a little bit more top end, a little bit less low end. Well, now the level's gone down, which is definitely a problem that I feel like a lot of metal players who've tried to voice pickups or maybe try to find the right pickup that has the amount of output they want, but with the kind of tone and EQ curve that they want. I also touched on the single coil a little bit. What is cool about their single coils, beyond them being great sounding and really low noise, is especially when you do a coil split. When you coil split a normal pickup, typically, it's not a full real single coil. You're just kind of trying to split off from one side, and it can be a little thin sounding, or it can pick up a little bit of noise and not sound exactly how it would be if you were just playing a single coil, say in a Strat. But with these, you can get a much more true single coil sound because they're literally just defeating part of the pickup. So like those coils, you have fine-tuned control. Not only can you control like, hey, I want some of these turned off or on for different tones or outputs, but you can also just completely turn them off, so you're only getting one coil and you're actually getting just that one actual single coil. So I think that these just allow for a lot more flexibility and fine-tuning in ways that you really can't get with, a standard traditional pickup. Now, I still love traditional pickups. I have plenty in all my guitars, but I've been using Fishman pretty consistently on this channel and just personally for years, basically since the Fluence stuff came out, and I've been very fortunate to have Fishman on the channel a bunch. They didn't ask me to make this video or anything like that. Like I said, I just didn't like my old video, and it's such a bummer. It was at 100,000 views. I know this one's never going to get that high, but that's okay. Just before we end the video, let's hear a couple of sound clips so you can hear what I'm talking about with the different voicings and the single coil. So we're going to have my LTD MH1000NT that currently has the Mick Thomson signature pickups in it. The voice one on that is his, ideal, like active, higher output, pretty tight, cutting kind of sound. Definitely not nasal though. Just has a nice pick attack to it and output. And then the voice 2 on that is going to be much more of a passive sound. It's going to be a lot fuller on the low end and overall mid-range, and it's going to have a lot less top end. And we're going to have that going into my PV6505 1992 original, which is very much that block letter kind of sound, just so you can hear it going into something, really iconic. And then we'll hear the single coil Fishman pickup I have in the neck position on my Star Destroyer going into the clean channel of my Ingle, just so you can hear how that sounds. So like I said, these pickups are a lot different. What's great about everything right now is there are options for everyone. I hope you guys at least found this informative, and it is definitely going to be a better quality video than the one I had up years and years and years ago when I was using an old terrible Zoom camera. But thanks for watching, guys. Stay metal.